Whether new shooter, longtime gun owner, or even police officer or soldier, your handgun needs a Crimson Trace laser sight or light. Get the confidence and reliability you need to protect family, home, and country. Crimson Trace.
This week on Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, Tom's talking hunting in the wintertime, unique handguns and ammo, new releases, and more. All that plus what's on your holiday wish list. To join Tom on the air, call 1-866-TALK-GUN. Now, here's Tom Gresham.
All righty, guns, holsters, ammo, scopes. It doesn't matter what your interest is. We're going to talk about it today because this is Gun Talk. I'm Tom Gresham. I am your host. So glad that you could be with us. If you'd like to join us, well, that's very simple. 866-TALK-GUN gets you in, or just dial 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. We, of course, have Twitter going. I am at Gun Talk over on Twitter. Shoot me an email, tom@guntalk.com. But, of course, calling in is the easiest, most direct way. We'll have a chance to have a little conversation. 866-TALK-GUN. And a little bit later on, we'll be taking your calls, looking for your range reports, and also what is it that you're thinking about buying yourself for Christmas, for Hanukkah, whatever your holiday is during the holiday season. Thinking about a gun, ammo, scopes, accessories, range bags. What are you looking for? Or maybe you're giving a gift to somebody. Looking for a cool idea for a gift, maybe even stocking stuffers. Love to get that. Tell you what, first up, though, always fun to talk with our friends when we talk about guns and family and everything else, and also find out about the new things going on out there. And one of the guys we really like doing that with is Rob Leatham, of course, like multi-zillion-time world, national, internationals champion. He actually is, he leads the pack in his county right now. So,
I'm the best shooter in Mesa.
There you go. Rob, I understand that you've become the bionic man. What's up with that?
Well, after, misspent youth and tearing my knees to pieces a few years ago, I finally had to break down and get some knee replacements done.
Ooh.
And guess what? Nothing ever felt better than it does. Well, the first 2 months after, not so much, but now, it doesn't hurt to sleep anymore.
Ooh, man. So now, do you really even have any idea how many national and world records you have won or set?
You know what? I don't worry so much about the last one. I just worry about the next one.
There you go. So what is the next one? What's on tap for 2015 for you?
Next year, the first major event for me will be the Single Stack Nationals and the Revolver Nationals. Hope to get back my Single Stack title and maybe defend my Revolver Championship.
That would be very cool. Now, a lot of people do not know that you actually know how to shoot a revolver.
Well, and that's because I'm pretty much associated with the 1911s, just because that's been really the platform of choice for pretty much 30 years of my shooting career. But what they don't know is the first gun I ever had was a revolver. The second gun I ever owned was a revolver. And the third gun I ever owned was a revolver. And none of those were actually in my name because I was always too young. So my mom, those guns were always in my mom's name. And it's because when I grew up, my dad did not like autos.
Oh.
His words were, they're unreliable, they're inaccurate, they're hard to shoot well. But it's funny, and I went to that, my first, I would have to, not the first match, because we had lots of matches where we informally were, trying to beat each other, but that was the first time I actually shot an organized match. I came back, and my dad said, how'd you do? Because he knew I was a pretty good shot by that point. Mm-hmm. He said, how'd you do? And I said, well, I shot a revolver in the match. That's what I had. And he said, well, I was third revolver, and 2 autos beat me. And he didn't think anything about getting beat by a couple guys with revolvers. He said, what do you mean 2 auto-loading pistols beat a revolver? I said, what's wrong with you, son? I said, well, Dad, we have to do a lot of reloading under time on this thing. And, they load a lot quicker than the revolvers do, except for Jerry Nicklick. And I said, well, that may be true, Dad, but I'm going to want to be competitive. I'm going to have to get one of those pieces of junk. And that's really what started my auto career. And then Dad went and got me one.
That's great. Of course, you've been associated with the 1911. You've been with Springfield Armory for, it seems like forever.
I think I'm the 6th longest running employee now. And I started, my association with them started in 1985, I think.
Wow.
There are only a few of us around that remember back that far. And that's really when I started. So we're going on my 30th year.
Well, I mean, and Springfield Armory it's changed a lot in 30 years. I mean, it was pretty much a 1911 shop then, and now it's really almost and I'm not saying it's an afterthought, but I don't think the 1911 is what Springfield is known for now. The XD-XDM platform has been such a runaway success. I think that's what a lot of people associate with Springfield these days. Well,
it's interesting because it kind of becomes what era did you come from? If you're from the old days, you knew the first gun was the M1A, which was the civilian semi-automatic version of the M14. Mm-hmm. Then the next gun that we did, that was successful, I should say, was the 1911, which has, started in 84, 85, right when I started with them, and is running through today, and I think we have one of the most successful 1911 lines. But what really has kicked things off in the last few years, of course, has been, the not only the popularity, but the acceptance of polymer pistols.
Right.
And that whole XD, XDM, XDS line, to say it's a runaway hit is an understatement. They've just been phenomenally successful for us. And, when I started, Tom, you couldn't have given somebody a polymer pistol. They said, my God, guns are made out of steel.
Right.
And now it's no longer really considered a cheap version of the gun. It's like a necessity. That's what people are looking for. That's how technology changed.
Well, and I should tell you, I mean, I just ran in here, sat down at the microphone, and as I sit here, I'm wearing an XDS. So, that's what I had on all day long today. So there you go.
I understand. I got the one in my pocket.
Well, what is it about a striker-fired gun? I mean, look, you and I, you're right. It's generational. You and I both love the 1911. But there really are some shooting advantages, are there not, to a striker-fired gun?
Well, there are. There's a lot to do with the polymer frame. Actually, you can look at it good or bad. I look at it from the standpoint the polymer frame, one, doesn't get hot. It doesn't. It's a little slicker than most of the steel frames. It doesn't wear through on a finish because the finish is all the way through it. There's a certain amount of shock-absorbing qualities that occur in the polymer frame guns. And if you shoot side-by-side, an XDS next to one of our small 1911s that probably weigh almost the same, everything else is the same, barrel lengths are almost the same, you'll come away going, the polymer gun kicks less.
Yes, I agree.
It's kicking. It does, and that's got to do with some sort of shock absorption that occurs through the frame that with the steel frame just transfers all that energy to you, and the plastic one doesn't. It's like the internet. Who knows how it works? What is the cloud? What the heck is the iCloud?
I could explain it to you, Rob. We just don't have time today. I'm sorry, but sometime get back with me and I'll take care of that for you, okay?
Yeah, thanks, because I need to know.
Yeah, I'll help you out, brother. Hold on just a second here, Rob. I've got to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk about, we've got a new product from Springfield Armory, one that people are talking about. I've had a chance to shoot it. I'm impressed. I got to tell you what. So when we come back, we'll be talking about something brand new from Springfield Armory with Mr. Rob Leatham.
You may be a new shooter, a longtime gun owner, or even a police officer or soldier. No personal defense handgun is fully equipped without a Crimson Trace laser sight or light. Get the confidence and reliability you need to protect family, home, and country. Call 800-442-2406 or visit crimsontrace.com for a free copy of our new laser training video, The Laser's Edge, Crimson Trace.
If you're looking for a safe and trusted way to sell your firearms, look no further than Dury's Gun Shop. I trusted them to sell my dad's collection. They built their business for over 50 years on honesty and customer service. Dury's Guns will buy any size collection or estate, none too big or too small. Selling your firearms to Dury's Guns is easy. Go with the pros. I trust Dury's Guns. DurysGuns.com.
No matter what gun you have, you want it to hit harder, shoot faster and flatter, and be more accurate. You get all that with the ammunition from Double Tap. Double Tap's experts select the best bullets, then load them to higher velocities while keeping safe pressures. Shoot small groups. Shoot farther. Use custom hunting loads in your handgun or rifle. Even fire 2 projectiles with one shot. DoubleTapAmmo.com. That's DoubleTapAmmo.com.
The .45 Auto, also known as the 1911, is the standard other defensive pistols are measured against. No matter what pistol you carry, techniques developed around the 1911 are vital. You know you need training, and you know your concealed carry class definitely was not training. Now Gun Talk presents an exciting DVD, Fighting with the 1911 with Tiger McKee. Tiger's unique training style will have you drawing, moving, shooting, and running your gun better, no matter what style pistol you prefer. At ShopGunTalk.com, you can order our DVDs of Tiger's instruction. ShopGunTalk.com also has a 2-DVD set, including Concealed Carry 1. Get both for the information you know you need. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com has DVDs, books, and other essential gear. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
The new Walther PPX offers a smooth trigger, ambidextrous magazine release, 3 integral safeties, rugged construction, and the famous Walther ergonomic grip. All this at a great price. Right now, get a free magazine, holster, and dual mag pouch when you purchase a PPX. Feel the perfect fit of the Walther PPX at your local gun dealer or go to WaltherArms.com for more information. That's WaltherArms.com.
Welcome back. Having more fun than a guy ought to be able to have. I'll tell you what, talking with my friends, talking with Mr. Rob Leatham, champion shooter, and of course, he's with Springfield Armory. Look, first thing is we've got a new gun from Springfield we got to talk about just a little bit because that's why they told us we got to talk about this stuff, right?
That's what we need to be doing. Yeah.
We'll do that. Look, you know how much I love the XD, XDM platform, and now it's the Mod 2. So what is that?
Well, the Mod 2 is it's the natural evolution and progression of our development of any of the product lines. Everything did it. Original 1911 went into the loaded packages where you got beaver tails and different triggers and better sights. The XD was developed in 2002. The small version was 2003. And that gun's been selling like gangbusters and has almost a cult-like following now. So let's face it, in that amount of time, we learn a few things. And a lot of it's been the ergonomics and what feels good in the hand. The XDS has really taught us a lot about how you design the frame to be comfortable, to fit in your hand, to help you shoot better. And between the XDM and the XDS, the Mod 2, which is the new version of the XD, we call it XD Mod 2, those guns feel better in your hands, Tom. They shoot so well, you just can't believe it. And when you sit there and look at it, the thing just looks cool.
Well, and one of the things is I've shot it. We've had an early model in here. We've shot it and had some fun with it.
Yeah, you probably got one before I did.
Well, I would hope so. Good grief. Hey, but then again, I know people, Rob. Come on.
Yeah, you do. It's true.
Well, I shot it. We liked it. And then I saw it was really fun watching the internet guys go all off on the fact that this is called the grip zone, and they've got the words grip zone on the grip. And I'm thinking, really? People who have not even shot it they literally have not even seen it and held it in their hands, and they're bad mouthing. I'm thinking, trust me, people, when you put this in your hand, you're going to go, oh, I get it, because it's subtle, but it really makes a difference.
It's a huge difference. When you haven't seen it and people are talking about it, they say, grip zone? Mm-hmm. After you shoot it one time, you're going to go, oh, grip zone.
Exactly.
It's going to make sense. There's virtually nothing on the frame that hasn't been to use updated or advanced or made better, thinner, rounder, smoother, more better textured. There's so many little things that it isn't like we reshaped one part of it. The whole grip is a zone. No, I had to say it. The whole grip, from the fact that the texturing is different in places where it needs to be smooth and some places it needs to be rather coarse. Mm-hmm. But the biggest thing for me is the shape of the tang, where we moved it up in the back and kind of recontoured it. It makes drawing the gun easier. It makes gripping and holding the gun. And then the release on the side of the frame almost make it feel even thinner than it is, and it's already really thin.
You said something interesting there. You said it makes drawing the gun easier. People are going to go, well, what can the grip do for you? And you get a better purchase on the grip faster before you start pulling it out of the holster.
That's correct. You are exactly right. The way the curvature of the back strap and the top of the tang is now, the area you would call like a beaver tail on a 1911, well, it copies more of the shape we've gone into the 1911s, which was first done on the XDM and XDS.
Uh-huh.
And what it does is it allows you, when your hand is going onto the gun, to the most important contact point between you and the gun, and this is when I teach, this is the place I start with everybody. It's between your thumb and your trigger finger.
Mm-hmm.
It's not your fingers around the front. It's the contact point on the back.
It's that web, that web area there.
Yeah, yes, exactly. If that's in the right place, gripping the gun is easy. So opening up the tang on the top, opening up that beaver tail area, allows you to come down on the gun at a more natural angle.
Mm-hmm.
It puts your hand slightly at a different angle and higher. And with the undercut under the trigger guard, moves your hand up just a touch. And it's just, you have to hold one in your hand. And you felt it.
Yep.
And that makes it easier to draw. It makes it more comfortable to draw. That makes it faster to draw. It allows you to shoot it quicker. It's just incremental improvements across the board.
Now, the one we had was in 9, and I know everybody brings out 9 first. Is that what we have right now?
Yep, 9's out, and very, very soon. Matter of fact, I think 40s are probably at dealers right. Well, they may not be at dealers yet, but I think that we've shipped to distributors already.
Oh, okay, so we're just days away from them being a dealer then.
Yeah, you're going to see the 40 in no time at all.
Well, and the thing shoots like a house of fire. It's just called the Mod 2.
Yeah. Well, we like to overname everything whenever possible, so we had call it the XD Mod 2 with a grip zone.
With grip zone, yeah, that's right.
We know we're going to all call it the Mod 2. We're going to call the previous version will be an XD forever.
Right.
This thing is, the Mod 2 is so much of an update from the X2 or from the XD that we're just going to call it the Mod 2. That's what it's going to always be for us.
Now, you can use the same mags, right?
Yep, same mags. That hasn't changed. Trigger mechanism works the same. It has improved sights. It's thinner. There's recontouring to the slide. It's easier to grab the thing. It's easier to, the whole thing is just a little better.
It's just sweet.
It is. So I'll tell you the story on my first firing it. I just got it.
Okay.
And so I go out, and a buddy of mine says, let me shoot that. And I'm like, okay, here you go. So we put a Bianchi target, which has a 4-inch black dot on it, out at 25 yards, because that's always kind of the starting point. A little too far for what you would consider a concealed carry gun, but, what the heck, let's see what we get. So he shoots, I think, 6 or 7 rounds, I can't remember, of just some generic ammo we had laying around. We go up there, and it's about a 2.5 or 3-inch group. Now, granted, this guy is a Bianchi national champ, but he's going to show the gun in its best light.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, wow, that gun shouldn't shoot that well. How do they shoot that well? And then I grab it and say, he was a fluke. And I shoot it. Those are the first 7 rounds I fired it, and it's about 3 or 4 or 5 inches without trying. So then I go, wait a minute. And it's dead center, too, Tom. It's right on the money without adjusting anything.
Huh.
I stick a target out at 50, and I shoot 10 rounds at it. I shot a better score on that target than I did at the Bianchi Cup with my 525 tuned last year.
So we can save money by getting the Mod 2 instead of a target gun.
Just get a Mod 2. You don't need the fancy stuff.
Right.
And so that's pretty much amazing, because that's really completely out of the usage range for this kind of a gun. So if I sound excited, it's because I am.
That's very cool. While we're at it, let's give away stuff, because we ought to do our giveaway here. I've got the details on that one. If folks will want to enter, they just go to guntalk.com/win, WIN, and the grand prize is an XD Mod 2, just what we're talking about right here. Subcompact model, and guess what? This was in 40, so they will get the 40, a bitone, by the way, not California legal. And then there's going to be a whole bunch of other prizes tossed in here. We're going to have cool prizes for week 1, 2, 3, and 4. XD, let's see, 23-ounce pub glass set, hats, pink hats, all sorts of stuff. Cool stuff. But main prize is the XD, the Mod 2, which is the one we're talking about. Sweet. So somebody will get that. All righty. Well, now, I take it you will be doing your dog and pony show at the SHOT Show?
Absolutely.
Well, look, I appreciate the time, and I really am excited about this new gun. And I'm glad they finally got the one that we shot to you so you could enjoy it, too.
Yeah, it's about time I get one after you do.
And we're going to be rolling out some videos on that shortly. People will be able to see that, so that's very cool stuff. Rob, I look forward to seeing you in Vegas, man.
Absolutely.
All right. I love talking with Rob. He's just lots of fun. I mean, how you're not going to have fun talking with it? He is, as I have often told him face to face, he is the world's biggest 12-year-old. So there you go. He just happens to be an unbelievably good shooter. He is astounding. One of those, when you see these guys shoot, you just can't believe it because they're doing things that, and reacting to things we don't understand. It's like they're going, yeah, I was hitting them all, but I was hitting them all on the left side. You're going, what? I mean, it's like bang, 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 bang. Really? Okay. By the way, if you'd like to join us, 866-TALK-GUNS, 866-TALK-GUN, that is, singular, talk gun. You can shoot me an email, tom@guntalk.com. We've got a lot of news stories to talk about. Just got through watching a video, guy with a knife and a synagogue police officer shoot him, but not before telling him to drop the knife 27 times. Really? Really? That's what we're doing? We're going to tell him 27 times to drop the knife while he's running around and there are people in there? Here's an eye-opener for you. Go to Google, do a Google search for knife wounds and click on images. Don't do it if you don't have a strong stomach. But, boy, when you do that, you're going to think, I'm never going to let somebody with a knife get close to me. And after about the second or third time of drop the knife, that's all it's going to be. Man. By the way, did you happen to catch the Pew Research report that came out this week? Fascinating. It says increasing public support for gun rights. Now, the deal is Pew has been asking this question for 20 years, so we have some background, some information. And essentially, over the last 20 years, we've gone from 1993, where only 34% of those polled said that the Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms was more important than gun control. Now we're up from 34% up to, what did they say now? We're at 53%, I believe it is. We'll just double check that. It's pretty astounding, the increase, and it covers 20 years. So it's, oh, you know what? Oh, that's the same 20 years that Gun Talk has been on the air. Could it be? Maybe not all of it, but who knows? Maybe a little bit of it. What are you going to be getting for Christmas? What are you going to be giving for Christmas? We want to talk about that. When we come back, we'll be talking about ammo also. Winter ammo. What happens in the cold? Aim high, aim low, pull the trigger harder. What do you do? 866-TALK-GUN.
Have you taken your family, friends, and kids shooting lately?
You're listening to Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, and we'll be right back.
Want to be a guest on the show? Drop us a line at info@guntalk.com. You're listening to Gun Talk with Tom Gresham.
Well, it's that time of year. No. I don't mean the Christmas holiday season. I mean, it's cold out there, baby. And there's been an awful lot of information, sometimes misinformation, about guns and shooting and ammo when it's really cold. And I thought, well, who do I know? Yes, I know somebody who knows a lot about that kind of stuff. And so we invited Jeff Hoffman from Black Hills Ammunition to join us. Hey, Jeff, how are you?
Hey, I'm good, Tom. Good to be with you again.
Good. Listen, I appreciate it. I always like having people on who are really good shooters. And you don't just make ammo. I mean, you got into ammo because you were a shooter, which was an interesting pathway. You love shooting, don't you?
Yep, you're absolutely right. My grandfather got me into it when I was really young, and matter of fact, you're right. I did get into the business because I had to support my habit. It's it's the way that I could continue shooting and doing something that I love.
So all you really did was take hand loading and make a full-time business out of it.
That's it. I'm pretty fortunate. I was able to find a way to make a living doing something that I truly enjoyed and actually knew something about. I'm pretty fortunate.
Well, Black Hills, of course, you guys make a lot of very interesting, very accurate ammo, but also you get to make some specialized stuff, so you still get to tinker a lot, don't you?
Yes, we do. You still there, Tom?
I'm here. I got you. Go ahead.
Okay. We continue to develop stuff not only for the commercial market, but for the military. So we're continually working on developing new stuff.
Absolutely. Now, you're sitting there in South Dakota, or as we say, South by God, Dakota, where it tends to get winterish around there this time of year. It's just flat out cold. So the question is, I know you don't stop shooting. So for those of us who might not have the kind of experience that you have, what difference does it make when ammo gets cold?
That's a good question. The U.S. Army Sniper Manual says that for every 20 degrees of temperature, you have to adjust 1 minute of angle. But the problem is that's only correct under one set of circumstances. That's correct at 1,000 yards with a 7.62 or 308 rifle. That pretty much overstates it for everything else. As you're aware, my hobby is long-range shooting, and I've also been involved in law enforcement since about 1979, and I serve as a sniper on the department here. So I've studied sniping really hard, and one thing I've come to realize is there's a lot of myths to it, and one of the myths is that temperature is a big factor. It's a factor at extreme ranges, but you can pretty much ignore it until you get to 500 yards. And what that means is for the average big game hunter, temperature really is not a factor. There's very little game shot at 500 yards or more.
I've got to think that probably the people who develop powders have worked on making them work at a wider range of temperatures over the years. Do we just simply have better powders now than we used to?
That's one thing about it. They've continued to develop it. Hodgdon is one example. Hodgdon's got a line of powders called their Extreme line, and those are really good. And they're, by really good, what I mean is there's very little pressure or velocity increase or decrease due to temperature. That's a goal. And in general, there's a couple of things in general that you can say. In general, extruded powders, that's, for the people that are new to hand loading or haven't done it, it's the powder that it looks more like little broken pencil leads. You've got that's extruded, and then you've also got ball powder, which looks like little tiny BBs. In general, extruded is much better as far as temperature insensitivity. That is less effect. Extruded powder is better. Ball powder has its advantages as well, but it's a little bit more sensitive. But still, any factory-loaded ammunition you get at normal hunting distances, temperature is not a factor.
Interesting. Okay, that's good to know. Now, if you are a long-range competitor, you're shooting out at 1,000 yards, those guys probably, and gals, I should add, are probably tuned in, and they know where their guns are shooting in almost any condition. Would that be fair to say?
That's true, because they keep records. They study it. They know what effect it'll have. And, for example, if they're zeroed at 70 degrees and they're shooting 1,000-yard targets and it's 100 degrees, it's a hot day, they know that that's going to have an effect. The powder burns a little bit better at warmer temperatures, plus the air is less dense. That's the other factor, is how dense is the air. Hot air is less dense than cold air, and at long distance that does add up to mean something. But at deer hunting distances, elk hunting distances, it really is not a big factor. And the nice thing there in knowing that is that it simplifies your firing solution. You've got a lot of stuff to think about when you're preparing for a shot on game. You have to know the range, you have to know the wind, you have to know the lead. But really, those are the three things you need to know as far as calculating your firing solution.
Okay. So are you guys pretty much caught up with production of ammo these days?
Oh, I wouldn't say caught up, but we're working on it. We're in far better position than we were 5-6 months ago. We were so far behind. It was embarrassing when somebody would call up and say, Jeff, I need a case of ammo. When can I have it? And you couldn't give him a good answer. Now we're getting back. I'd suppose probably about half our stuff is in stock, and we're not in too bad a position on the rest of it.
By the way, if folks want to look, it's black-hills.com. That's black-hills.com on the web. Is there anything new for 2015 that you can share this early?
We're working on a few more bullet types in 5.56 that we're going to be offering. We're offering a new bullet from Sierra in our 308 line that I think is going to be really well received. Sierra, as you know, has a new line where they're putting a polymer tip on their Match King line, and the advantage there is the Match King is a really accurate bullet, but by putting a tip on it, you can gain some in ballistic coefficient, so the bullet's a little slicker going through the air, has a little bit less drop, a little bit less effect on wind, and then also it changes it from being a purely paper bullet to something that does have some applicability on game. It makes it more reliable on performance when it gets there.
What's the latest, and I don't want to keep you very long, but one other question, what's the latest on 300 Blackout? Is that thing as hot as I think it is?
That's, there's occasionally they introduce cartridges and they're here, and then they're popular for a little while and they kind of fade. I think one example of that might be the 6.8. It had great potential, good cartridge, but it never really caught on. The Blackout, I think, is going to be much more popular than the 6.8 was. It's got some advantages for the people that like to play around with suppressed guns and subsonic. It's a lot of fun. That's a cartridge where you can shoot a 200 or 220 grain bullet, subsonic, suppressed, and it's nice and quiet. Sounds like a pellet rifle. Or at the same time, you can shoot a higher velocity bullet, 110 or 125 grain bullet, and you basically have the ballistics equal to, say, an AK, a 7.62 by 39.
Exactly. I think that's why it's so popular. Hey, Jeff, I look forward to seeing you at SHOT Show, and we're going to find out all the stuff that's new from Black Hills.
That sounds good, Tom.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Jeff Hoffman from Black Hills Ammo. It's black-hills.com. Makers of really, really good ammo. All right, 866-TALK-GUN will get you in here. I'm Tom Gresham, and this is Gun Talk.
Wouldn't it be cool if you could use your AR magazines in a bolt-action rifle? Now you can with Mossberg's MVP rifles. The patent-pending design is a first for bolt-action rifles. Choose from 5.56 and 223 to 204 Ruger, 300 AAC Blackout, and 308 Varmint, Predator, Patrol, and MVP Flex System models. Adjustable trigger too. AR mags in a bolt rifle. The Mossberg MVP. See more at mossberg.com.
Gun Talk and Springfield Armory present Concealed Carry 2 with the Vata Group. Get serious about concealed carry. Take it to the next level with Concealed Carry 2, the highly anticipated DVD that teaches fighting from a vehicle, shooting from the ground, and the kind of drills that can save your life. Vata trainers don't just show how, but they explain why, and they make it real. Get Concealed Carry 2, because your life is on the line. Go to shopguntalk.com.
Are you looking for a place to shoot? The National Shooting Sports Foundation has a great website called wheretoshoot.org. It's the largest database of shooting ranges on the internet. It's also a great resource for shooters where you can find video tips, printable targets, and a lot more. Find it online at wheretoshoot.org. And while you're there, download their free iPhone app. That's wheretoshoot.org.
This holiday season, give the gift of ammo. With a mech reloader, your loved one can load shot shells for hunting or target shooting and save money compared to store-bought ammo. With over 2 million reloaders sold since 1956, Mech has helped more people start reloading shot shells than all others combined. Just go to mechreloaders.com to see more. They have experienced customer service representatives to answer any questions. Go to mechreloaders.com or ask your local gun retailer about Mech Reloaders.
For 36 years, the U.S. Sportsmen's Alliance has been fighting to protect hunting, fishing, and trapping for sportsmen from coast to coast. Today, we are under constant attack from extremist animal rights groups who want to end your ability to hunt in the U.S. Join us to protect our sporting heritage and our way of life outdoors. To join or for more information on how you can help, go to ussportsman.org. That's ussportsman.org.
Brownells proudly celebrates 75 years of history and heritage as the world's first choice for firearms, accessories, ammunition, and gunsmithing tools. So whether you're a gunsmith in need of parts and supplies, a new shooter looking for the perfect holster, or a skilled competitor seeking the latest gear, Brownells has what you need. And best of all, every purchase comes with the industry's only forever satisfaction guarantee. Visit us at brownells.com.
All right, back with you. 866 Talk Gun. It's been 2 years since Newtown Sandy Hook. And a lot of Congress people are saying, well, we should pass more gun laws. We should do something to honor that. Well, how about doing something that actually makes a difference? That is, enable people to stop mass shooters, crazy people, like armed teachers. Put armed people in schools. When they get in the school with a gun, your only option is to shoot them. Let me repeat that, because it's so simple and it's so obvious. For some reason, some people have a hard time with it. When someone comes in and they are in the building with a gun with the intention of killing people, the only solution is to shoot that person. That's all there is. There's nothing else. Hiding doesn't work. Cowering under a desk just means you're going to be killed while you cower under a desk. You must shoot this person. So your choices are pretty simple. Really, it's A and B. A is you call somebody on the phone and hope that they get there quickly. And in the time between when he walks in and starts shooting people and the good guys with the guns arrive, people will die. For however long that is. They call it the stopwatch of death. The stopwatch of death. Is it a minute? Is it 2 minutes? Is it 3 minutes? Is it 4 minutes? And people are dying. Or instead of picking up a phone, you can pick up a gun and shoot the SOB. Done. Hit the little button, stop the stopwatch. You want to honor the people who were killed in Newtown? You put security, good security, armed security into schools. You stop these people, you shoot them on the spot. Oh, well, but more guns, just more violence. You know what? Not all violence is bad. Can't believe he said that. Yes, not all violence is bad, just as not all homicide is murder. Say what? They say, well, they've ruled that a homicide. Yes, when somebody kills somebody, that's a homicide. Even if it's justified, it's a homicide. That's all homicide means. It's not a murder. And violence is sometimes good. If someone is trying to cut your head off, shooting them is violent. But it's a good thing. Yeah, well. So what are your thoughts about how do we honor, how do we commemorate Newtown? 866 Talk Gun. Line 3. Skip's with us out of Houston, Texas. Skip, talk to me about an AR pistol.
Yes, I'm thinking about getting one to play around with, and I was just wondering if you think gas or piston, and I've been looking at the SIG.
Honestly, I will tell you where I come down on the gas versus piston thing. I don't care. I really, truly don't care. I like them both. If you say, I really like the idea of gas and you have to clean the gun less and it runs cooler, go for it. Super duper. If you say, I want to save a few $100, I'm going to go with direct impingement. Got it. Good to go. The thing about an AR pistol, my first thought was that's goofy and useless. Maybe not so much. And especially if you put that SIG handhole / kind of semi-stock thing on it, which the ATF has ruled is legal, you can actually shoot them kind of almost at your shoulder. Now you got a legal short barrel rifle, do you not? Well, for all intents and purposes. 866 Talk Gun, 866 Talk Gun. What would you say? How should we commemorate those killed at Newtown?
You don't have to agree with Tom to participate in the show. Call now with any of your concerns about guns, gun rights, or particular firearms, or suggestions for your shooting activity or personal protection. 1-866-825-5486. Gun Talk is coming right back.
All right, yes. The gun bandits are saying we should honor the victims of the Newtown and Sandy Hook shooting by restricting honest gun owners, making it harder for honest gun owners to own guns. Now, they will actually admit, if you press them, that nothing they're proposing would actually have stopped Adam Lanza from killing those children. So they say, okay, this thing happened, and we're going to recommend things that would not have done anything about it. But we're able to use that scary, horrible, terrible thing to further our political agenda. So we're willing to go there. And that's what it is. Man, unbelievable. Line 4, James is with us out of Palestine, Texas. Hey, James, how are you?
Okay, Tom, previous caller in is Palestine, Texas.
Palestine, thank you.
Yes. Anyway, old Bloomberg's on the march. He's trying to get an anti-gun bill on the ballot in Nevada.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to the SHOT Show. You need to talk to them on that.
Well, it's not just Nevada. He's actually, they're making a move to Nevada and to Arizona. And the idea is they're going to move state by state. And the thing is, they're not sneaky about it. They just tell you what they're going to do. This is what we're going to do. We're going to pour so much money into it. And I was telling somebody the other day, I said, here's the deal. You got to understand what just happened in Washington. If they can control the message, and if they outspend you 8-1, they control the message. And if they also have help in controlling the message with a complicit media, which won't carry your message, won't go to your meetings, won't cover your story, then the public hears only one viewpoint, and it sounds pretty darn reasonable. How can you be against a simple background check to buy a gun? Who wouldn't want that? Of course, not telling you, as in Washington, it was an 18-page bill that now they're waking up and going, what the heck did we just do here? We passed this monster. You guys told us this was just a simple background check. Au contraire. It's a firearms registry. It's a ban on even handing a gun to a friend. It's unbelievable what's going on there. So I'm with you, James. What else are you hearing about this?
Well, not much, except looks like the NRA might need to get its fingers out based on its performance in Washington State. Also, Tom, on Bloomberg, it was some years ago, he pulled off some handgun buying stunt in Arizona, broke the law there, federal and state law. Nothing happened to Bloomberg.
When you're worth $37 billion, nobody is going to do anything to you. And he has armed guards around him at all times. So he's a firm believer in firearms for self-defense as long as they're just for him. So I appreciate it, James. Let's go Paul on line 2 out of California. Paul, you're up. Paul in Hysteria, California. You there, Paul? Line 3? Line 3, Paul. No, Paul went away. Tell you what, put Paul back on hold here because I don't think we have a lot of time left. We got him? All right, Paul, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I got you.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to give a shout-out to Paul Markle. I enjoy your guys' podcast on YouTube, and he was a guest host back in January.
Mm-hmm.
He had laryngitis over the holidays last year, and so he was a guest host for, I think it was the first show in January of this year. And it was a great show. I really enjoyed him. And
yeah, Paul does a great job. Listen, I got to tell you, I was talking with Paul Friday, actually, just this past Friday. He continues to do great stuff with the Student of the Gun. He's got podcasts and doing a bunch of video stuff, and actually does some really nice training. So if you're looking for training down in the South Mississippi area, Gulf States area, Paul is definitely somebody to look up. And besides that, he's just a nice guy. I like spending time with Paul. So there are several guys doing that kind of work these days. I was glad to be the first, and I'm glad to be joined by a lot of people who are really doing a great job with this. 866-TALK-GUN. We'll be right back with more Gun Talk, talking about a company you need to know about.
No black helicopters here, just the facts about gun rights and gun ownership. This is Gun Talk.